Medical cannabis has been legal in the UK for 5 years now. However, there is a shockingly high number of people who are still completely unaware of this. Today, we deep dive into some of those clinic options to help patients now and future patients be able to make the right choice for them as to which clinic do I choose. Hello, YouTube world. My name is Katie. If you are new around here, then welcome. But if you're not new, welcome back, love. So, first things first, I just want to apologise for the delay on this video. I did have it planned to go out last Wednesday, however, there was a bit of an issue with Google Drive. And I was one of those users, of course. So everything that was backed up onto Google Drive, I stupidly hadn't backed up onto my laptop. Don't ask me why. I know now to do that. So it's taken me a little bit longer in order to get this video out. I also have an issue with focus that I've only really kind of started to realise that I might have ADD. So I apologise if I'm a little bit erratic or things like that throughout here, because I actually started to realise that planning a big video like this is just really, really tough for me. So I just want to put it out there and say I'm really sorry if you don't like the video or if I come across, I don't know, anything. I'm just really sorry because this is a big thing for me to try and keep in focus on one thing. And so, yeah, but let's get on with it, shall we? So this video will be sectioned into 3 parts and there will be chapters down below. So if there's anybody that wishes to skip over any part, then just have a look at the chapters and you can go straight to that section. Part 1 is going to look at the available clinics when you Google cannabis clinics, private cannabis clinic. If you were somebody that didn't know anything about it and you went onto Google and you Googled it, what are the clinics that come up are available? We're going to look at the initial cost of what it costs to sign up, i.e. have your first video consultation. We'll go over any follow-up consultation prices, and we will also go over the repeat prescription prices. My prices on here are going to mainly be T21 patients. So if you are not a T21, Project 2021, then the prices will be higher. So this is on the basis that you are going to go in as a T21 patient. Basically, before anybody asks what a T21 patient is, you are allowing yourself to give over medical data to drug science. Drug science will take all of this data from all of these patients who are filling in questionnaires and things like that about how your medicine affects you, how has it helped, how has it not helped. All of this information gets pushed through into some sort of file, I guess, that they're going to hopefully put forward to the NHS when they have enough scientific evidence, because we don't really know how much scientific evidence the NHS is going to require. But T21 purely just means that you will be a part of that project. You are willing to give over your medical info and you are willing to accept the questionnaires and things like that. If you do not want to do that, then you are going to be classed as a non-T21 patient and therefore you will pay a higher rate. Okay, I hope that makes that clear. Part 2 will focus on just a small amount of mentioned clinics. Now, this is because I don't have reviews from you guys for every clinic. I mainly got reviews for the top ones, which is, you know, quite obvious. But also, some of these clinics that you will see in part 1, one of the websites not even on, so we will focus on the ones that are available, the ones that are the most talked about, and the ones that patients are mainly going to look into when they start to become a medical cannabis patient. In part 2, we will also cover the pharmacies who are linked to these clinics. And part 3 will be the final part, which will include your reviews that you very, very kindly have sent over to myself. And I have shortened some of them and basically just give a rough idea of the the issues that kept coming up, basically, and I will be giving over my own personal experience. We will go over your experience and final thoughts. So go and get your hot or cold beverages, go and get a couple of snacks if you wish, and let's sit down together and start to deep dive a little bit into these clinics. Okay, so as you can see, I've just gone onto Google and typed in Cannabis Clinic UK, and the options that come up on the front page are Sapphire, Mamedica, Lyphe, Cantourage, Sapphire again, My Access Clinics, Integro, the Cannabis Clinic, Releaf, and then just down here Zerenia, and then there's other ones that aren't as well known. So we will be focusing on Alternaleaf, Releaf, My Access Clinic, Sapphire, Integro, Lyphe, Mamedica, Zerenia, and the Cannabis Clinic. These are the clinics I'm going to show you the initial cost, the follow-up cost, and the repeat prescription. First off, we have Alternaleaf. Alternaleaf is my clinic, so I'll be able to give you a review in part 3 of what my experience has been like. So the initial appointment, remember, that is your video consultation that you will have. This is your first point of contact. That's going to set you back £49. Okay, £49 is going to cost for you to have your consultation, and then repeat follow-up consultations are £49 as well. And if you want a repeat prescription, there is no charge. There is no charge on that. So it's £49 starting price, £49 follow-up, and 0 cost for prescription. So the next one we're going to look at is My Access Clinics, and the price of their consultation is £79. Your follow-up is going to be £50, which includes the repeat prescription. So here they are boasting that it is absolutely nothing for repeats, but that's when you are prescribed within their care pathway. And that's basically just their way of saying patient 2021. So if you are a member of their care pathway, then repeat prescriptions will be nothing. If you are not a member of them, then it will be £30. Moving over to Sapphire now, you can see that their initial consultation is £50 with a follow-up of £50. Quarterly checkup is £50, and they have repeats for free. So there is no charge for your repeat prescription. However, I would like to make you aware that this is the price on the Sapphire Access Scheme. Again, another way of saying T21. So that's your prices if you're on T21. If you're on a Sapphire standard pathway, is what they call it, then your prices change considerably. Your initial consultation is £210, the follow-up consultation is £125, and your quarterly checkup is £125. However, you do get free repeats. So something's being made aware of if you are not going through the Sapphire Access Scheme. So the next one we look at here is Integro. Now, Integro have a consultation charge of £95. Their follow-up consultation is £49, and their repeat prescription admin fee is £30. Absolutely mental to me that they charge £30 for a repeat prescription, but there we go. Moving on, we now have Lyphe. So Lyphe's charge is £49 for a new patient appointment, your video consultation, £49 for a follow-up appointment. Repeat prescriptions are £30. Again, absolutely mental, but not quite as mental as what I did have a little chuckle about. Patient advisor, free. What does that mean? What do you get for free, may I ask? Well, it tells you, speak to a patient advisor for free to ask any questions before you start your journey with medical cannabis. Wait, hold on. There's plenty of places that you can find out for free. You don't have to glorify the fact that you can speak to someone for free. I mean, there's a load of sources. You're looking at me right now for free and getting this information. You have Reddit, you have Medbud, you have all sorts of YouTubers that are helping patients for free. just thought it was a bit funny that they had to put this in here and be like, yeah, well, you can talk to us for free. We won't charge you. Just thought that was a little bit funny. Anyway, moving on, we have Mamedica. Now, I know you can't see this because it's cut off, but I will read it to you. Mamedica is arguably one of the most competitive clinics out there, and that's because of this scheme that they have. Now, their statement that it says here, I will read out to you. It says, we think everyone who is eligible should have access to medical cannabis to support their chronic health condition. That's why we created the access scheme for new patients, delivering unrivaled value to veterans or patients receiving benefits. And so let me delve a little bit deeper in for you. What does this mean? The access scheme basically means that if you are a receiver of certain benefits that I will list in a minute, you have it really simple. It's really, really easy. You pay a £200 upfront charge, and that enables you to have access to the clinic team. It enables you to have all consultations, all repeat prescriptions for forever for your £200. Absolutely amazing. That is something that I honestly think a lot of clinics should be doing. So let's have a little look and see if you're eligible for it. So the benefits that are accepted into the scheme are income-based job seekers allowance, income-related employment support allowance, ESA, income support, pension credit, universal credit, personal independence payment, PIP, housing benefit, tax credits, child tax credit, and working tax credit. If you are in receipt of any of these benefits, or if you are a veteran, then you can apply to Mamedica with this access scheme that will cost you just £200. So the £200 is for the first consultation, and then, like I said, follow-ups and repeats completely free of charge. The next clinic is Cantourage. And this is a little bit confusing, I'm not going to lie. So the initial consultation is 149. They want 74 for your follow-up, then 29 for a follow-up. But I guess this one's with a specialist, this one's with a healthcare professional. And then you have to have another follow-up with another specialist that's going to cost you £74. So going from Mamedica's £200 upfront, all your fees, all your consultations, to 149, 74, 29, 74, a little bit confusing, and a little bit erratic, more erratic than this video, I'd say. And I don't know how I feel about that one. Like, what if you forget that your 29 appointment was actually 74 and you've saved up the 29 to have the healthcare professional appointment, but then they turn around and they go, oh, no, you've had that one. That was with blah, blah, blah. And because of your condition, you've forgotten. You thought that it was that one, but they say, no, this is the follow-up with the specialist. So we need £74 from you, please. Don't know how I feel about that. So, moving on. Zerenia. Now, Zerenia was my old clinic before I went to Alternaleaf, and they are charging £149 for their initial consultation, which has come dramatically down. I paid £249, so they've changed their prices. The consultation follow-up will set you back £99, and I'm not sure here. GP follow-up £79. I'm not sure if that means their GP. Please contact with clinic to book GP follow-up. So yeah, I guess it is again with them. So the first one's £99, the second is £79, and your repeat prescriptions are £15 each time. £15 each time. Another clinic that comes up, which we are not going to talk about, is the Cannabis Clinic, because the website is under construction. There's absolutely nothing to see here, so we won't be talking about that clinic. Another clinic we won't be talking about is Releaf. Now, the reason is because when you go onto their website, there is nothing but them promoting this Britain's first cannabis card that's legally recognised by police. So it seems as though if you sign up with Releaf and become a patient, you will then have the option to receive a one-of-a-kind medical cannabis card. You have to join the waiting list. It seems here that there is a waiting list, but I cannot find any details on how much it costs to become a part of this clinic. Like there's no pricing at all. So I can't even tell you how much it's gonna cost you to sign up to this clinic. I have no reviews either, so I can't tell you anything about this clinic. Also, not sure how we feel about this whole cannabis card that's recognised by police. I have a feeling that there is going to be a video coming up about this very shortly. I have quite a lot of thoughts about this, and I'm wondering whether you have a lot of thoughts about this. I didn't even know this was a thing until I started researching for this video. So, be on the lookout for a video where we deep dive and go over that a little bit, because I'm not sure. So just to sum up there, the clinics that we will be deep diving slightly more into in part 2 are Alternaleaf, My Access Clinics, Sapphire, Lyphe, Mamedica, and a small amount of Zerenia. So, now we've seen the prices for the clinics, let's talk about some reviews. First off, we'll start with Alternaleaf, which is my clinic. Now, this is a relatively new clinic. It is part of the Montu Group, which is an Australian-owned clinic. So I changed over from my previous clinic, which is Zerenia, we'll talk about at the end. And I personally have had brilliant service from the guys over at Alternaleaf. It was a really quick service for myself in swapping over. All I needed to do was get a discharge letter from my previous clinic, gave it over to the team at Alternaleaf, and they dealt with it pretty swiftly. I had my video consultation, which obviously we know costs £49, and that was within a week of me applying by calling up, I believe, and then they told me to go through the website. So top tip, don't give them a call, just go straight to the website and apply if you wish to do that. From then it was really, really quick. I had a 5-minute consultation with the doctor that was at the previous clinic, and it was really nice to be able to see him, touch base with him, and go over any medication that is available to us at this clinic now. I have found that they've been very, very quick with every email that I have sent back. There doesn't seem to be any longer than a day waiting. They are not open on Fridays, and I think that might be why I randomly get emails sometimes as a response on Sundays. I think some of them work from home, so you might get a response at the weekend. Don't be alarmed about this. I have, so don't worry. I have also had some people that reached out to me asking what clinic am I with, and I told them that I am with Alternaleaf, and they have come back and said that they are very happy with the service that they have received. There was a patient who applied and had his medicine within 2 weeks of everything going through, from applying, have it going through, and picking the strain, it going to the pharmacy. It was within 2 weeks. It could have been even less. So big plus point there. They do have a small team, I believe. So in my personal opinion, this really helps for someone like myself, where I'm kind of always talking to 1 or 2 people. So I know that I don't have to keep saying things over and over again, because the person that I spoke to even last month has the thread of our email, so they know exactly what I'm talking about. Again, that's just like a big plus for me. Some of the reviews that I am getting about Alternaleaf aren't necessarily negative. It's purely just because there has been an influx of patients that have wanted to join. Therefore, their waiting list now is over Christmas. So if you are a brand new patient, or you're wanting to swap your clinic and you wish to go to Alternaleaf, please be aware that there is now a waiting list in order for you to join. But having said this, if you would like to go with them, or you would like to know about the flower or oil that they can prescribe, then I'm going to show you now. Okay, so you can do this at home as well. I'm just going to show you how to do it, because I'm not going to go through it in this video with every single flower for every single clinic. It would be far too long. But I will show you how we will find out what you can get. So you come over to MedBud and you come over here to the clinics. And if you scroll down, you can see where it says Alternaleaf. So you click that and it will take you to the Alternaleaf page on MedBud. If you scroll down slightly, it will show you here that IPS is utilized as a default partner pharmacy for Alternaleaf alongside CB1. Now, I'm assuming that CB1 is their in-house pharmacy because they do have an in-house pharmacy run through Montu, but also IPS is their partner. So all you would need to do is scroll back up, go to Pharmacies, hover over it, and there you can see IPS Pharma. If you go down slightly, there's CB1 Pharmacy, the two pharmacies that are mentioned as Alternaleaf linked. So I'll click on the IPS. And then if you scroll down here on the right hand side, here are all of the available oils and flour that you can obtain through IPS. Currently, there isn't any information on MedBud about the CB1 pharmacy, so you will have to look at the IPS list or just give them an email once you're a patient and say, is there anything that isn't on MedBud? They are very aware of MedBud. Is there anything that is not on there that you can get hold of? Okay, so the next pharmacy that we're going to talk about the reviews is the My Access Clinics. I didn't get a whole lot of reviews for this, so I can't give you that much information. Obviously, I have not been a part of this. However, there was one review that stood out to me, and I will basically just give you the short version of it now. So the patient is a long-time user of cannabis for medicinal reasons, and when they had the video consultation with the doctor told them that they could only get 30 grams as a maximum. Also, he would like to note that the doctor looked like he had just rolled out of bed, his hair was completely unkempt, and it just didn't look or feel professional at all. When the patient said to the doctor that 30 grams is not nearly enough, the doctor then argued with him and said that, well, you are consuming too much then. He decided to take what he could, so he was offered the oil and the flour. Fast forward a little bit forward, he then rang to tell them that the oil was doing absolutely nothing, and so could he up his flour amount to 60 grams. They did comply, they sent it to him, however, it was intercepted by police and seized by Royal Mail. I don't know what happened there. I get packages delivered from Royal Mail, so I can't answer what happened there, but the patient was completely freaked out by this, as you would be. There are threads on Reddit if you would like to cover them. I have left the links in the description below. If any of you are interested and you would like to deep dive into this a little bit more, then you can go ahead and do so. The patient left and went to Mamedica. Unfortunately, I'm not able to tell you which pharmacy My Access Clinic use, as it doesn't seem to be on here. So I would assume that an email or a call to them to find out which pharmacy they are a part of, you can find out, and then just come back over to MedBud and go to the correct pharmacy in which they say. I would assume that they probably have Releaf, maybe IPS, maybe specials, I'm not sure, but most of them do have IPS and Releaf, so that could be on the list, but again, I don't know. You would have to contact My Access Clinics to find that out. So the third clinic that we're going to talk about is Sapphire Clinics. Now, this is most definitely one of the most popular clinics. It's obviously all over Google as soon as you type it in. They are also on social media, so there's quite a big push for this clinic. So I'm basically just going to tell you the majority of comments that were coming up that are the same, because there were quite a few reviews from Sapphire that mirrored each other. Let's just say that. So there'd be no point in me basically telling each and everybody's story because it related to each other. But there are many patients who are unhappy with Sapphire. They are unhappy with the service, and they are definitely unhappy with the pharmacy. Now, The pharmacy that they are connected to is Releaf, which is by Rockshaw. And for some reason, the pharmacy that are connected to Sapphire have an issue with prescribing higher THC flower. I don't know why this is, but quote, Sapphire is one of the strictest and do not give out strains willy-nilly. This is an excerpt from an email that was sent by somebody at Sapphire to a patient that was asking for sourdough. So they had been prescribed farm gas, even though there was a whole thing to do with that as well. So the patient asked for farm gas and they were prescribed it. It was meant to be sent over to the clinic. Scroll forward and nothing was ever put forward. So he rang the clinic and that was Releaf, and asked them what had happened. The receptionist then said that it's out of stock. So he then said, all right, cool. Can I order some sourdough? Because sourdough was now available where it wasn't previously when he had ordered the farm gas. He was met with a no. We are not going to prescribe you sourdough. Apparently, the THC was too high in the content of the sourdough and they were not going to prescribe it. Even though he was happy to have farm gas prescribed, which is 2% lower. So Releaf told Sapphire that this patient could not have what he wanted because they, quote, are strict and do not give out many strains above 18%. So anything above 18% is considered high THC and there is a very low chance of you being prescribed it. This was Releaf denying the patient. This was not Sapphire. However, they are obviously in bed with Sapphire. And Releaf basically said that they didn't feel right about giving people a strain with such high THC. Fast forward again, they now have the sourdough available on the menu and he's able to get it prescribed and he now gets it. So the patient is happy with Sapphire. It was Releaf that was the issue. However, there have been more and more reviews from Sapphire to do with Releaf. Also, there have been negative reviews about the service from Sapphire. When patients are asking for certain strains, they are being pushed to get the Adven strains. And the Adven, as we know, is not the best quality. But Adven are partnered with Sapphire and Releaf, and so obviously they are the number one that they are going to push first. There's been many reviews of patients telling me they have had to give back the medicine. They are not happy with it. There's been some that the batch has been completely unrecognizable from flower. It's just been horrendous. This goes down to Adven and again, just the quality of the way that it is being grown. However, there were patients that did say that they were happy with Sapphire. So there is definitely a level of potluck, I would say. There are good reviews though. There are people that are happy. However, another thing that kept coming up was the fact that patients were unable to choose the flower that they wanted. So again, we've got the whole issue with them pushing the Adven, you know. But let's go over and see what you can get with them. So as we know, they use Releaf Pharmacy. So we'll click on Releaf Pharmacy. And then of course, you can come over here to MedBud and see all of the oil and flower that's available. You see how much there is of the Adven? Yeah. So this is your whole list. This is everything. If you need to look, go onto MedBud and go and have a look at the entire list available to you from Releaf, Rockshaw, Pharmacy through Sapphire. So the next clinic we will be talking about is Lyphe Clinic. So the first commenter kept it quite short and sweet and basically said that they had a massive consultation wait. And then even when they got the consultation, it didn't feel professional at all. It was meant to be with a doctor and it was with someone who didn't really look like he was a doctor. But I mean, he could have been, just like the other one before was quite unkempt. But the service that they received, they felt quite unprofessional. Another commenter said that they signed up and it took an entire month before they could even get a consultation with them. Now, I don't know how good or bad Lyphe is, but I'm hoping that because that was a long wait, that they are a good clinic and that a lot of patients are with them, but I cannot tell you that for sure. There is one thing that I can tell you for sure, and that is that they use as their pharmacy Dispensary Green. Now, you will need to, if you are with Lyphe or if you're going to go with Lyphe, if you want access to most of the medical cannabis that we see on the MedBud website, you will need to ask them to change pharmacies. Change from Dispensary Green to IPS. You are able to do that. You can change pharmacies. You do not have to change your clinic. If you can change your pharmacy, then go for it, because there was definitely some comments about Dispensary Green and how you are not able to get most of the MedBud that is available to us patients who are on IPS and other pharmacies if you are with Dispensary Green only at Lyphe. So this is Dispensary Green. Again, you would just go onto Pharmacies, come down here, click Dispensary Green, and then you can scroll down at your will and look at everything that is here available for you. The next clinic we'll be talking about is Mamedica. Now, Mamedica is definitely one of the bigger clinics that I keep hearing being mentioned all the time. As we went over in part 1, you could see that they had that very, very competitive program where you would pay £200 if you were on certain benefits or a veteran and be able to get everything included in that £200. But I wouldn't do my job correctly if I didn't tell you that there definitely were some reviews worth mentioning. So some of the things that kept coming up from patients that were repeated is that they are quite slow at what they do. There were days and weeks between email responses from patient and team. Patients were feeling like they weren't getting the service that they needed at that time. The scripts were late. I have been quite fortunate, in my experience with my clinic, where I will have my script written and within 1 to 2 days maximum, it's been sent to the pharmacy and I've got my payment link. But there has been some reports of some patients saying that it is taken a while, even up to a week of waiting after they've done everything that they needed to, for the pharmacy to send out the link for them to actually pay. And then even when they've sent out the link to actually pay, there's been a delay after that as well. So delays were definitely something that kept coming up with Mamedica. There is a patient who said that he was constantly calling and not getting any response from the callbacks or the emails. They were 2 weeks late with every prescription and things like that. Overall, they felt that they were getting a poor quality, so they left. But other than that, the only other negative that was really put forward was for new patients. There is a 10-week minimum waiting list for new patients that are enrolling into Mamedica. And a lot of patients were claiming that they had to do a lot of legwork for them. So in my case, I just went to my clinic, got the summary of care records and everything was sorted. Apparently there is a lot of legwork that the patient has to do in order to get the ball rolling, really. I can only assume that this is because Mamedica is quite a big company and so there is quite a lot to do, I guess. And they maybe don't have the time. I don't really know, I'm speculating here, but I do know that because of that £200 access scheme that they have offered, there has been a massive influx of patients. And so, of course, you are going to get delays. You are going to get longer waiting times when that happens. Also the case with Alternaleaf, you know, very new clinic, but they're also starting to get delays because more talk about clinics means more patients signing up. However, I would say that arguably Mamedica is one of the top ones up there. So yeah. And the last one we're going to quickly talk about is Zerenia. Now, I don't have any reviews on Zerenia except myself. So as I briefly said, I joined up to Zerenia in 2021 when it was, you know, the start of Project 2021. I paid £249 for a clinic consultation and it went incredibly smooth. It really, really did. Everybody was lovely on the team and they really, really welcomed me. I did, unfortunately, have to suffer with the Releaf pharmacy because back then I didn't even know that you could change pharmacies. I wasn't really aware of the whole Advent issue. You know, I wasn't really aware of much, but I just wanted to get my foot in the door. And they allowed me to do so. However, when they started changing their prices to an absurd amount for follow-up fees and, you know, repeat prescriptions, I decided that I just could not afford that anymore. Also, add to the fact that their doctor, who I was seen by, Dr. Matthews, he left Zerenia and went to the Montu group Alternaleaf. So he's like a director at Alternaleaf. And so when I heard this information, I immediately was like, oh, well, I'll go there then. £49 sign up, £49 follow up, free repeats, and Dr. Annam. I'm there. But it was incredibly easy to leave Zerenia as well. I just sent them an email and I said, hey, I'm going to move. I can't afford this. With all due respect, you've been absolutely amazing. I cannot fault them for their service. It's their prices and the fact that they're with the fact that they're with Cureleaf, I just did not like. And it was all very easy. They sent me a discharge letter, which was a letter saying, you know, you are now discharged from our database. Thank you very much. And I took that letter, gave it to Alternaleaf, and like I said, within like a week, 2 weeks, I was done, sorted, had my medicine, sorted. So I have nothing but goodness to say about Zerenia. However, the prices are disgusting. I'm not going to lie. The prices are horrendous. They need to come down if more patients are going to go to them. Like, it is ridiculous. We do not pay for repeat prescriptions in a few of these clinics. The follow-up charges are insane. Like, no. So, yeah, like I said, okay, great clinic, but prices, no. Even if you get great service, you can't even afford your medicine, do you know what I mean? Because you've paid so much on a bloody follow-up appointment. I was finding that I couldn't pay the £15 prescription. Bear in mind, that came down from 25 as well. It used to be £25, but we started going through the cost of living crisis and they sent an email out to everybody and said that they're going to change it from 25 down to 15. And I'm happy to see that it's still at 15, but it could be at 0. So, final thoughts. Listen, I am not going to tell you to go to a certain clinic. I think that every clinic has good parts and bad parts, right? However, having looked at the information that I've seen, looked at the prices, looked at some of the reviews, it is clear to me that there are two that stick out mainly as the high competitors, and there is one where you take a potluck dip. I am going to say that I personally think that Mamedica and Alternaleaf are very, very good clinics. They really excel in what they're doing right now and helping with the patient. But, of course, having a good clinic and having great service comes with an influx of people where it's going to take a long time to get on the waiting list. So not every clinic is perfect, you know, and then you've got Sapphire, which has so many negative with a couple of positive sprinkled on top. But I cannot tell you what clinic to choose. Everybody is different. It will all go on the service that you get from the clinic as well. It's not just prices, it's obviously service too. So you do have to take that into consideration when you're thinking, where do I go? Like I said, no clinic is perfect, but hopefully with the prices that you can see here, some of the reviews, maybe deep dive yourself into looking, you know, if anything, go and have a little look and see what other people are talking about. Maybe you might find something that I didn't, and you'll have more knowledge. Because that is all I want you to do. Just arm yourself with knowledge so that you can make the right informed decision for you. Go on to MedBud, go and have a look at the pharmacies, go and have a look at what you can get, who is attached where, do some research, and have a look into what you think's best for you. This is a long video. I need to cut it now. But thank you so much for listening. Guys, I really appreciate it. If you have any comments, if you want to talk about your clinic, let us know down below so that people can still scroll through in years to come and have a look and see how we've grown, see how the clinics have grown, see if anything's changed from now. Thank you very much for listening to me. Of course, it's been a pleasure. Please feel free to like the video if you've liked the video and subscribe if you're new. Take care of yourselves, of course. Take care of each other. And until the next time, guys, I will see you in the next video. Bye.